What's good, YouTube world? It's Coffee back with an update, man. This 1090 Jake, Boston Richey, who snitched, who didn't snitch, what is snitching, what is halfway snitching, what's all the way snitching, what's snitches sometimes but not other times. Debate, dilemma, drama, discussion just continues to rage on, man, as it's been a wild few weeks, right? Nevertheless, who you think is a rat or not a rat or whatever, I'm sure everyone can agree that things have just not been the same since the Boston Richey tape came out, since 1090 Jake started covering that story, which again, I think Jake broke that situation down to a T. That, what Boston Richey did is telling. And then he brought, the footage out. But it ain't been the same. It's been wild, to say the least. Now, just a quick rundown, right? Originally, it was that news footage. That very night after the, video came out, or prior to the video coming out of the interrogation, right around that time, the first thing that Boston Richey's team affiliates brother on that academic stream ran with was, yo, Jake, you snitched on the news, right? And again, guys, I'm no G. You know what I'm saying? I'm someone just tapped into the blogosphere, so everyone's got their own opinion or whatever. But I thought that news situation was like more than a reach. I was going to say a bit of a reach, but way more than a reach. But then, after that really didn't catch on, we got this whole case where 1090 Jake, apparently back in the day, made a report. Someone shot the window out. This, that, and the third. 1090 jumps on no jumper. Yo, it was a fake story I created because I had to, get Auntie's heater to go make my way around the hood, maneuver around, do what I had to do, have that thing on me. And people were like, but then we got word that there was another part to it. That two individuals were indeed picked up, and then it just started looking all crazy. Like, wait, 1090 Jake lied? He made this all up? Well, now this gets even more confusing, man.
You made a statement that locked somebody up. Please give us clarity, because I'm a little confused.
So I don't understand that part you just said. If she had guns in her room, why wouldn't she call the police?
Because I guess they're assuming that it's illegal guns, right? So it's some illegal shit. So it's like, it's like.
Well, I'm a respectfully assume that they're fucking retarded because we're speaking on Florida. You don't need a gun license to own a gun in your fucking room. So whatever my aunt had guns. Them ain't illegal guns. Okay. You see what I'm saying? It's the state of fucking Florida. You only need a gun license to carry a gun.
Yeah.
So me trying to get access to the guns for whatever reason, I'm trying to get to them is some whole other shit. But whatever she had wasn't no illegal shit. So like I said, I popped the window and I shot it. See, this is where they specifically leave shit out, right? I shot it right above where the lock switch is. So I could stick something in there like a pen and flip the lock and get access into the shit.
I got in that Uber yesterday. Nigga was annoying, bro.
AJ, you're not muted, bro. You're not muted. All right, go ahead.
Shit fucked me up. I'm like, what, an Uber? Nah, so, like I was just saying, I popped the window so I could get access into the room, right? So dude dropped the video saying, oh, we got a witness statement. You gave a statement to the police. You gave your phone number to the police. That phone number wasn't even my number. So what I did is I had my aunt go and request the same paperwork. It's 8 pages. She got the unredacted version, right? So where it says victim, it actually shows her name, shows all of her information. I have the unredacted version of the entire thing. Now this shit that he put out, saying 2 individuals got arrested where it's blacked out, where he doesn't show the case number, where none of this other information is there, is weird, right? Because I had my aunt request that too. Yeah. So she requested it, called TPD and said, hey, apparently there's a paper saying 2 people were arrested from this incident. I want the entire report. They told her, we don't have any record of anybody being arrested or detained, and if we did, it would have been added to the supplementary report. So we don't know what paper that's talking about. So when I seen dude's video, in one little segment, he shows the case number at the top. The case number looked blurred, right? It looked identical to the other case number, but it's not in that. And then there's one number, it's a 9 that looks like a possible 3. She requested that. Nothing came back. So this paper that's saying 2 individuals was arrested, I can't get. I don't know how anyone got it, if it's real, what it is, because my aunt requested the entire fucking thing, and she's getting the unredacted reports because she was the victim in the case. Now, she says she wanted to press charges. If anybody was picked up, they would have presented that to her because that's what she says she wanted to do.
Yeah.
Nobody was brought to her. Nobody existed. So I don't understand how there's all this other shit and there's apparently 18 pages and the 18 pages ain't dropped.
So essentially, this particular portion where they're saying 2 individuals was arrested, this is fake.
What I'm saying is I can't get it. If you can get it, then we can go from there. Because the person that's saying it's real switched the story 3 times. First, he said they found 2 people and one of them had a gun, which he fucked up because he was just reading the original report in which they said they were looking for 2 people, one of them having a gun. Then he said they got picked up but let go. He said they got arrested and then they got released, and then he said they got detained but released to their parents. So there's 3 different narratives.
All right.
But the thing that ain't making sense is he talking about somebody got released to their parents or they got released, whatever. Where is the paper saying that? All right, that's the narrative.
All right, so peep it, y'all. This whole ish is really, as always, guys, I need to hear from everyone on this. That's what we do on J Coffee Talk. We talk it up with y'all, the people, and this whole situation really seems to be about the details. What's that old saying? The devil's in the details or some ish like that. I don't know. But 1090 Jake is saying, that his original story is true, that he had to get that thing and he made up this story, that this other part about these individuals being arrested is fugazi. And the unspoken crime dude that came with this, right off the rip, 1090 Jake did say, yo, this guy says he has some ties to the industry or something like that, or the Boston Richie, you know what I mean? More or less, he is in his feelings about me exposing Boston Richie. And we did see other cats speaking out for Boston Richie when that was all going on, either just trying to make bold statements or flat out trying to swing narratives his way, other internet influencers, etc. And, it just became very apparent that there was this moves being made somewhat behind the scenes and possibly money being thrown around or clout tokens, being that there is so much invested in Boston Richie with him being an up and coming artist, really not quite yet at the pinnacle of his career, but has some momentum behind him. And I actually did indeed hear the unspoken crime dude say, hey, I'm not going to lie, I was a little annoyed or something like that. I'm not quoting him, but basically made it clear he is, if not tied to Boston Richie, a fan of him. But getting back to what we're talking about here now, that gets crazy because we all saw this all play out. The unspoken crime dude was releasing segments of his conversation with 1090 Jake in pieces. And, regardless, whatever it really is in this situation, this guy played this perfectly. He played his hand to a T. He bluffed when he needed to bluff. He said what he said when he needed to, and just was releasing it in pieces. I was honestly quite surprised that 1090 chopped it with him off the rip. You know what I mean? Ish gets tricky in the blogosphere. Motherfuckers love to play games and stuff like that. I'm just shocked Jake did that. He might as well got on a live and kicked it with him. You know what I mean? But based on this new update, Jake is saying his original story is true, and that with this paperwork, that this other piece of paperwork that, and throughout this video, guys, you see I'm sharing all the different imagery and whatnot, all the different pieces of the paperwork and everything, that once again, his story about the lie that he told is true, and that you know, this unspoken crime dude got the paperwork, but more or less this other piece, he didn't flat out come out and say, yo, it's fake, but he said, I can't get it. It doesn't seem to exist. My aunt, who was the actual victim of the crime, requested all the paperwork, and this other piece doesn't exist. And once again, y'all, I need you guys to comment and really tap in on all this. Like I said, the devil seems to be in the details on this one. That on this other piece of paperwork, that there's no case number, and a plethora of other things, inconsistencies or stuff that just seems to be off. That certain pieces of information are blurred. Um, I think he said the officer's badge number wasn't really right. Just all kinds of things that Jake pointed out. And again, guys, pay attention on this one and comment. Um, but more or less, he said his aunt got the full unredacted version, and he's claiming that don't seem to exist. This other piece about these cats getting arrested, and then he also went on to say that the unspoken crime guys switched his story up. That at first they had a heater, then it was they got picked up and released, then there was that they got picked up and released to their parents, and there was that they got locked up, and I don't know. You know, it's all so tricky. So again, I need to hear from y'all. He also threw this up as well on the gram. He said, so here's the paperwork unspoken crimes pushed out compared to the one my aunt requested. Tampa PD said the page he's showing doesn't exist. Call records, he gives the number, and ask for yourself. The general offense number is 2012-166907. Now forget that the day was wrote wrong and the officer badge number was off. Just tell me how only he could find it and why TPD sends digital copies, but he chose to have it mailed. Then he said he had to scan it, then turn it into a PDF file. And then he's got the thinking emoji. He said he got it by requesting the arrest/BOLO reports. Well, I did that too, and these are the replies I got from records. But don't believe me, just call them for yourself. And I apologize for not making content in the last few weeks. I'm currently building an entire studio. And then you see he also threw up this post too that says, it be someone sitting in their room bumping Boston Richie talking about I'm an exposed 1090 Jake. And you see this masked individual in the cut looking like Star Wars Lord of the Sith, or what was his name? Darth Sith or whatever, with the red and the horns. And he had that cloak that he would wear. Kind of looks like that. And then he's got the I'm dead emoji. So he's more or less saying, yo, this dude's a Boston Richie stan in his room, bumping Boston Richie, and cooked up this whole idea, you know? And also another thing that definitely, you know, it seemed odd in this situation was that 1090 Jake, and still has not dropped any new content in 3 weeks since dropping the Boston Richie report, or I'm sorry, interrogation footage. So it's just like, man, is that what it is? Did this? Because peep it, that like I said, this unspoken crime dude, the way he played this all out, he played it out perfectly. Like what I'm getting at is he is not a dumb guy. He's got some smarts. So what do y'all think? Did he cook this up? Did he actually release real paperwork and then add on one part, you know, and just pull a fast one and show it in a real slick way like that and fool a lot of individuals in the blogosphere? Or do y'all think 1090, like what do you guys think? You know what I mean? Something else he pointed out too in that post when he said, you know, he had to scan it or turn it into a PDF file. I did hear Unspoken Crime at one point also say they printed out for you right there. So I don't know. It's a tricky situation. 1090 Jake, though, sticking to it. his original story and saying he's building a new studio is the reason why he hasn't made content. I don't know why he just didn't go out live on the gram regarding all this, but he definitely called into a few other streams. I don't know, but I want to hear from all y'all. So tap in. Let me know your thoughts. Now, one more clip I'm going to play on the end and conclude. This will be the conclusion of my commentary, is regarding Boston Richey, because some cats are saying, even if what 1090 is saying is accurate, the fact that 1090 said before about calling in, or I'm sorry, speaking to the police at all in any fashion is snitching. And they're like, yo, you're about to hear the clip. They're like, yo, you did the same thing. And he's saying, no. What Boston Richey did is way different. He mentioned real people and got motherfuckers jammed up. And I don't know. So that concludes this one. I thank y'all so much for tuning in. Again, the devil is in the details. What a crazy situation. I swear, I wonder if 1090 was like, man, I wish I never even reported on Boston Richey, or he's just like, yo, pluck it. Like, there's so much to really break down and decipher here. Again, so I need y'all help. I need you guys to join the discussion. At some point, they should just both do like academics would be a good platform where 1090 and Unspoken Crime could get on there and just lay out all the paperwork, side by side, split screen, and like, yo, this is what it is. Something else too was there was also talks that there was other paperwork coming out regarding other situations on Jake, and I don't know, I have not seen that happen either. But here's that final clip. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to, again, join the discussion, but also subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. It's Coffee. We talk music, news, sports, current events, life, and much, much more. And I'm up out of this bitch, y'all. Peace.
That's like, all right, nobody got locked up. All right, cool. We get that, right? But the problem is if you did say what they saying that you said, like if you did give that statement to the police, even if the people was made up or not, that's still ratting. And I say that because
Are you rat on two people that don't exist?
Wait, hold on. That's the same thing Boston Richey said he did. The same thing he said he did. He said he made, and I'm just holding you to your own standards. Boston Richey said he snitched on. He made up two people, whatever the case may be. He made up two people that wasn't real, and you did the same thing, but you still calling Boston Richey a snitch, right? So I feel like
then you not holding Boston Richey to the same accountability, because Boston Richey identified multiple people, not just two people, multiple people. And then we broke down how he knows the individuals that he mentioned, because some of them were also mentioned in the fucking witness list. And then he claimed that his brother or cousin that passed away didn't know Eddie Butler, who he named multiple times. But you go on his cousin's Facebook and he's friends with the same Eddie Butler. So we broke down that the people wasn't no fake people. He identified 3 people by photo lineup. It gets extensive.